Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. First Nations chiefs say they deserve answers.
My community was devastated by a forest fire that overtook the homes with great speed and heat.
They're calling for an inquiry into the wildfire, adding both levels of government are dragging their feet with support.
I would never buy it because Trump doesn't have any respect for us Canadians.
Plus, the trade war escalates between the U.S. and Canada. Northerners we spoke with weigh in on the U.S. booze boycott. And the 4 individuals vying to become the next Ontario Liberal leader make their pitch to Sudburyans.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin once again tonight on the wildfires. The impacts of the devastating wildfires in northwestern Ontario are beginning to come to light today. First Nations leaders are speaking out, sharing their experiences and frustrations.
I visited our homelands yesterday, and during a community meeting this morning, I confirmed that there's nothing left but just ashes. My community was devastated by a forest fire that overtook the homes with great speed and heat. My members barely escaped with the clothes on their backs.
Chiefs impacted by the wildfires in northwestern Ontario are calling for an inquiry and an independent review into the emergency response to the fires. At a press conference held online and in Thunder Bay, chiefs called out the Premier and the Prime Minister, saying both levels of government have and are dragging their feet in supporting their communities.
Hold this press conference today to counter some of the narrative that Ontario is promoting out there, that they are in regular contact with our leadership. They are not. They were here on Saturday. Premier Doug Ford, some ministers were here as well, and they didn't even bother to reach out to any First Nation leader.
The chiefs believe that the Premier has an opportunity to demonstrate leadership by ensuring that an independent investigation is initiated immediately. Accountability measures are implemented without delay. A clear plan is developed to address deficiencies. If an investigation identifies at the director or the assistant deputy minister level, appropriate leadership changes should occur promptly.
CTV News reached out to the Premier's office. Minister of Emergency Preparedness Jill Dunlop declined an on-camera interview, but did say her ministry, as well as the Ministry of Natural Resources, will conduct reviews afterwards to identify lessons learned. She wouldn't commit to calls for an inquiry. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he spoke to President Trump this morning after Trump announced a plan to bring in 50% tariffs on roughly $28 billion worth of Canadian products.
We have a situation where the American tariffs, the 338 tariffs, will come into effect in 29 days. And we will look at all options in terms of how we would respond if they do come into effect.
Trump signed orders Monday under Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930, imposing 50% tariffs on a lengthy list of Canadian products, including milk products, Canadian alcohol, plywood, hockey sticks, flowers and bulbs, clothing and paper products. U.S. officials say the reason for the tariff is Canada's supply-managed dairy sector, reciprocal tariffs on some American-made cars, and the widespread boycott on American alcohol. Both the Kentucky bourbon and California wine industries have been hit hard by the sudden drop in demand from Canada. In the Sioux, people told us they don't want American alcohol back on the shelves.
No, I would not. No.
Why is that?
I wouldn't want to give to Donald that advantage or that
satisfaction.
Yeah. He's a big
bully.
Orange bully. I've had enough.
I would never buy it because Trump doesn't have any respect for us Canadians. So why give him any respect by giving our money?
No, I wouldn't. I agree totally with Doug Ford advocating for it to stay off the shelf.
I'm not really much of a drinker, but I'm pretty sure other people in the city, they probably would. I think they would, to be honest.
I'm sure there would be some that I would buy just because I'd want to try it, if anything. But in general, I probably wouldn't. Just overall, I don't really see a point in it when there's stuff that's already there that I like as is.
I don't feel like we need to support the U.S. because they don't support us or basically anybody else.
Premiers from across Canada are in Prince Edward Island today for their annual summer meeting. Talk there has also turned to Trump's latest tariff threat. As mentioned, one of the sticking points with the U.S. is the push to have American alcohol back on the shelves in Canada. BC Premier David Eby said earlier, quote, "There's no chance in hell that's happening in British Columbia." He and Ontario Premier Doug Ford both saying today enough is enough.
The one way to embolden a bully is to capitulate, and I don't think we should embolden Mr. Trump, who clearly is a bully.
If these talks fail in 29 days, we need to hit him back as hard as we can. I'm tired of the bully trying to take our lunch money all the time. We always seem to be on our back heels. We need to be on the offense, not constantly on the defense with President Trump. We need to stand up to the bully, and we need to hit him tariff to tariff, all the way across the board. And that's my message to the Prime Minister. We need a plan moving forward.
Tariffs and wildfires are sure to be key topics as a virtual meeting between the premiers and Prime Minister Mark Carney was scheduled, along with a meeting with Indigenous leaders. Meanwhile, Sudbury MP Vivian Lapointe is sharing her thoughts on the new tariffs and the impact they might have on Sudbury.
In terms of the specific impact here in Sudbury, I continue to communicate and work very closely with our local companies that are impacted by this and finding some mechanisms in order to help them.
Lapointe says the federal government has increased the Strategic Relief Fund to help companies impacted by tariffs. The move taken by the U.S. government has also disappointed the country's forestry sector, who employs many here in the Northeast. In a statement, its president and CEO Derek Nybor writes in part, "Tariffs on the very materials used to build homes, renovate properties, and support North American construction supply chains will only make housing more expensive for American families. These actions will increase costs on our American neighbors, a full stop." The Forest Products Association of Canada says it will continue working with other affected industries to ensure a Team Canada approach. Well, new tonight, we have an emerging situation on Fort Albany First Nation on the James Bay involving its water plant. According to a Facebook post, it's not producing enough water for the entire community. It needs an upgrade. They add the mechanical system is outdated and parts are hard to find. Water was turned off at 11 tonight through the night to produce enough water. No one will be impacted on the mainland. In other news, Timmins officials say police are investigating damage done to 40 of the city's parking meters. They were responding over Facebook to a post from one person who inquired how much they cost after seeing this damage close up. All of the damaged meters are old ones, and according to the city, each one costs about $800. They're asking local businesses for any CCTV footage of the vandals. The city couldn't elaborate any further, telling CTV News it's an active investigation. An ATV rollover last night in Timmins resulted in charges and a license suspension. Police were called to Grundy Avenue, where one ATV had rolled over, injuring the driver. The driver was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The police investigation led to charges against two other ATV drivers who were with the victim. One individual was charged with failure to comply with a demand, and the third driver had their license suspended after registering 50 milligrams of alcohol. A small group of party faithful gathered inside the cavern at Science North tonight in Sudbury to hear from the four individuals vying to become the next leader of the Liberal Party.
But I want to thank all of you. Thank you for being around when times were tough.
Ontario's interim Liberal leader John Fraser was also on hand to address the crowd. In his speech, he cited Ontarians want change. The Liberals lost official party status in the 2018 election, and while they have regained it, they remain the third party in the legislature. All four candidates had a chance to speak: Navdeep Bains, Lee Fairclough, Eric Lombardi, and Dylan Morando. The Liberals will choose their next leader in November. For the past 2 years, Rough Diamond has been working with Cambrian College on a new addition to their amphibious fat truck, and today they got some help. CTV's Madison Mary reports.
It gives me great pleasure to announce $150,000 in funding to Cambrian College.
Rough Diamond and Cambrian College showed off the Fat Truck's newest addition, a platform that can mechanically raise off the vehicle for rough terrain drop-offs.
In a very short period of time, we have the demountable platform here. So what it does is it allows the fat truck, which is a highly capable vehicle, to get from A to B. But once it gets to B, if you have to offload heavy equipment.
This took about 2 years from the Daryl's sticky note idea to where we are today. And then this funding is to announce a second phase of this, which is refining the prototype.
While the group wants to make the design lighter and more efficient, they also hope to create an additional toboggan-like style in Sudbury with the help of Cambrian students again.
When you see it at the very end, you almost forget all the struggles we put into it and just are so proud of what came out of it.
We've talked a lot about dual-use technology, and today was a perfect example of what that is and is a very tangible example of how that can work here in Sudbury.
While more work will be going on with additional designs, Adam says the fat truck is a deployable asset that as of last night is being staged for wildland firefighting efforts.
We look at sometimes when it's too smoky for the helicopters to fly in or fly out in a situation where they have to get firefighters out of a dangerous situation. The fat truck supplements that overall main effort where we can go in with a lot of people, but we can also bring supplies and consumables that they would need at a certain spot on the ground. And if required, the fat truck can be an emergency evacuation vehicle because it's amphibious.
Adam says beyond wildfire help, he hopes to see the fat truck and platform used in mining operations, military uses, and other off-grid areas where crane and helicopter use aren't feasible. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Canada Nickel Company's Crawford Nickel project is one step closer to nearing the construction phase. Today, the company announced the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada has submitted the final impact assessment report to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. It advances the project to the final stage of the federal impact assessment process. The minister's final approval is expected within 30 days. The project is expected to create more than 4,000 jobs, and Canada Nickel is hoping to start production in late 2027. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Amanda will have our full weather forecast. For now, look at the current conditions, and it is a cool one out there. I had to put a jacket on when I was out for my dinner break. It is well below average. We only have 12 in Sudbury, 13 in Elliott Lake, 17 in Parry Sound. We're seeing some rain activity in around Kapuskasing and Timmins, 12 in Wawa, 11 in Chapleau, 12 in the Sioux. We'll have full details coming up after the break.
Welcome back from the break. We have a midweek cool down on our hands. Temperatures are going to drop as we head into tomorrow, and it's going to be below seasonal day for sure, but at least the rain is going to be out of the way for the most part. There is a little bit of precipitation on the way though for some of our regions like Timmins, Temiskaming Shores. Going to see a little bit of rain on the way for tomorrow, but by the time Thursday rolls around, that's when it's clear sailing. We're going to see sunny skies for the most part across the region, and it's going to be a really nice day out there. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast, starting with Sudbury Nickel Belt. So we've got a mix of sun and cloud for tomorrow, high of 19, 23 degrees on Thursday with sunny skies. Looks like a beautiful day in Sudbury. Chance of showers on Friday to start the weekend. A mix of sun and cloud though on Saturday, high of 26, getting to normal for this time of year, and then a chance of showers on Sunday. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mainly sunny skies for tomorrow, high of 19, 23 on Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud. Bumping back up to seasonal for Friday with a chance of showers. Hopefully a few more sunny breaks than showers, but we'll see how things shape up. Chance of showers throughout the weekend and to start the week. Temperatures dipping a little bit to 22 degrees on Monday. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of showers throughout Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. By the time Monday rolls around, that's when we see a mix of sun and cloud, high of 21, a little bit below the normal for this time of year. For Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of showers for tomorrow, high of 15, 24 on Thursday, chance of showers back to back, chance of showers Thursday into Friday with hopefully a few sunny breaks there, 26 on Saturday, more cloud than sun for sure, chance of showers. And finally for North Bay, West Nipissing, chance of showers for tomorrow with some sunny breaks, high of 20, the low of 12 degrees, a little bit cooler than what we've been seeing, that's for sure. 23 on Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, chance of showers on Friday, and then a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. High of 26, chance of showers on Sunday, continuing into Monday to start the week. So, Ian, we're seeing some comfortable conditions heading our way, but then we get right back up to those summer conditions. I know you'll like that. Sending things back over to you.
I'm gonna love it. Thanks, Amanda. Well, summer is a popular time for home sales, and several communities in the Northeast are seeing an increase in demand compared to this time last year. CTV's Angela Campbell reports.
When it comes to real estate, it's all about location, location, location. The same could be said for trends in home sales, both across the country and in the Northeast.
Timmins and Sudbury, really strong markets right now, very strong levels of demand relative to supply. So they're actually both in a seller's market.
When the Canadian Real Estate Association looked at stats for the month of June, it says they show an increase in home sales for both Sudbury and Timmins, while the other two major northeastern Ontario cities were more even.
In Sault Ste. Marie, they've got inventories that are trending a little above average, but their market, I would say, is in balanced territory. And in North Bay, because of the strength that they're seeing right now on the new listing side, even though it's in balanced territory, it's actually shifting down closer towards buyer's territory, just because of how many listings have been coming on the market.
Suzanne Othmer has been selling real estate in the Timmins and Cochrane area for more than 30 years. She says lately, when homes come on the market listed between $125,000 to $250,000, they're snapped up quickly.
We do have a lack of inventory. So it is definitely a seller's market. And the reason too, what doesn't help is we are finding that boomers are staying in their homes longer due to a lack of really nice condos.
The Canadian Real Estate Association is predicting a slight decline of 1.4% in home sales across the country for the remainder of the year compared to 2025. For those thinking about dipping their toes into the real estate waters, Othmer has some advice.
Because it is definitely a seller's market, now's a good time to sell your home to get the best value. And if you're buying, you can't go wrong with buying real estate.
The CRE says for homes priced across the Northeast, the average ranges from between a little over $500,000 for Sudbury to $339,000 for Timmins, which is a new record high for their average. The average price across the country for homes is $686,000. Angela Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Canada's leading science-based conservation organization has found a unique way to find new invasive species in waterways in our region without having to physically be out on the water. CTV's Luc Simard tells us more.
People who have been enjoying Lake Simcoe this summer may have heard an unusual buzzing sound as drones can be seen flying in the sky. It's part of a new program being put on by Ducks Unlimited Canada.
We began to integrate drones into the program because drones have good freedom of movement. You can cover a lot of area pretty quickly, and you just fly a drone with the camera pointing straight down and you can get great photos of the area you're trying to survey.
Well, in the air, the drones take hundreds of pictures, but until now, there has been no way to identify species in the water. Ducks Unlimited, along with partners, have developed a software program on a drone that is taught what to look for while scanning through pictures, identify invasive species, and provide GPS coordinates on the lake.
It cuts down on like hours and hours of field time, which saves us a bunch of money, which we can then use to actually like remove these invasive plants that are causing sort of a negative impact to the environment and to the human use of these systems.
One of the biggest issues are water soldiers, which can grow quickly and dominate a habitat.
Native wildlife have a real struggle using it, but for people, like Cook's Bay is a really popular area. There's lots of people who boat and stuff like that. You're just trying to boat through a big pile of weeds, and it just inhibits recreational activity. It's sharp.
Not only a physical risk to people swimming, but an eyesore as well. And if you're looking to remove it yourself, it needs to be done properly.
It spreads by sort of fragments, like especially like root fragments, so you have to be pretty careful when you remove it. If it's a really large population, then you have to look at sort of more high impact management methods like herbicide application, which we generally try to avoid.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. With what's wet, wild, and probably on your little one's summer fun list, we'll take a look at North Bay's newest waterfront attraction. Splash and Go Adventure Parks, a Sudbury-owned inflatable water park, is finalizing a deal with the city of North Bay to bring the water obstacle course to Lake Nipissing. For a little over a week, Splash and Go has been teasing that North Bay will be its newest location to set up. The water park layout includes a floating obstacle course where kids can climb structures, go down slides, and try to balance on the inflatable. There's no official date for launch just yet, but the company says it's currently hiring 2 lifeguards, a site crew team member, and a customer service representative.
Very excited. So North Bay has always been a target on our radar. We've been working on launching in North Bay since we launched in Sudbury. It's been a little more challenging getting that in place. We are definitely always looking to expand and bring this to the more northern communities and even southern communities as well.
The city writing in a statement to CTV News today, Splash and Go Adventure Parks has been selected to supply and operate a new inflatable water park at Shabagisik Beach. Following the city's request for proposal process, the new attraction will provide another recreation option for residents and visitors to enjoy the waterfront this summer. Meanwhile, Tourism North Bay says the water park will elevate North Bay's vibrant tourism scene, seamlessly blending with existing activities, events, and festivals in the downtown and waterfront core. Again, no launch date just yet. Adopting a pet just got a little easier for people in Sudbury. U-Ride has announced a partnership with Sudbury's SPCA throughout the summer. They're offering free rides up to $25 for people bringing their new pet home.
As well as just open it up to a whole demographic of people that might not have thought to adopt. If they're looking for coming in for one of our bigger dogs or even a cat, if they were worried about taking it on the bus or trying to find a ride home, this gives them that option to secure that safe ride home.
U-Ride says their goal is to help 100 pets get adopted this summer. A sweet update on a story we brought to you last week about 2 friends making beverages for a cause. 11-year-olds Mary and Abigail served up free refreshments at their booth in New Sudbury over the weekend while collecting donations for 3 charities: Pet Save, the HSN Foundation, and the Sudbury Regional Tree Fund. The girls say the fundraiser was a big success and that the mayor even made a surprise visit on top of an incredible turnout. They raised over $1,000 for charity. The girls say the experience has deepened their belief in the entrepreneurial vision as well as giving back to the community. Good for them. Lovers of art, music, and the outdoors are making their way to the West Nipissing area, where the River and Sky Music and Camping Festival will once again be lighting up the forest with a wide variety of art installations along the Sturgeon River, July 22nd to the 26th. Organizers say the annual festival is a beloved tradition for friends and families from all over Ontario and beyond, and is now in its 18th incredible year. Finally tonight, for the first time, Crefest is being held in Timmins. CTV's Lydia Jubak has more on this celebration tonight.
Mushkegowuk Council Grand Chief Leo Friday says holding Crefest in Timmins gives many Cree people who live in the city an opportunity to reconnect with their culture.
This is the first time we do it in the Timmins, and the reason for that, we have a lot of our people living in Timmins, and they never got a chance to go to our communities because the flights are too expensive. So that's one of the reasons why we have it in Timmins, is to make aware of the people in Timmins that we are not forgetting about them.
Timmins Mayor Michelle Boileau says the festival also gives residents and visitors a chance to enjoy a wide range of activities.
If not to come visit your friends and family, there's a reason to come just in the programming and what goes on here. And I think that's something that's really exceptional.
Organizers say the festival features live Indigenous music, traditional drumming and dancing, vendors, traditional foods, daily elders meals, and activities for youth and families. They also say Crefest helps support Indigenous artists, entrepreneurs, and tourism across Northern Ontario.
A big thing this year is the arts and crafts in the marketplace, non-Indigenous and Indigenous, and we kind of wanted that to be a big thing this year, along with the evening concerts, the cultural programming. We have a cooking tent for cooking wild geese, and we also have a youth program at Hollinger Park.
Wildlife photographer David Courtois is among the artists showcasing his work during the festival.
Trying to capture and show what I've been seeing out there and share it, not just from showing the wildlife, but the cultural aspect of it. Because it's rare to see these wolves. It's rare now to see them more and more. More and more people are shooting them on site.
Crefest continues through Thursday, including special guests like Adam Beach and musician Adrian Sutherland. Admission is free. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Looks like a great event up there. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. We're also on YouTube now. Search for the CTV News channel and subscribe to the Northern Ontario feed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.